NBC Sports welcomes you to the 29th Arnold Palmer Cup, proudly supported by Rolex. For the second time in the state of South Carolina and first time at Congaree Golf Club, opening ceremony hosted by Jim Nance kickstarted the festivities. Arnold Palmer's daughter, Amy Palmer Saunders, and grandson, Sam Saunders, welcomed the competitors before the annual competition began. I'm Steve Burkowski, and with me is three-time Arnold Palmer Cup team champion and five-time participant, Amelia Duran. Amelia, let's go over the format for this year.
Thank you, Burko. 12 women and 12 men on each team in this three-day competition where 60 matches will be played. The matches feature mixed four-ball and foursomes, finishing with 24 singles matches to decide the Arnold Palmer Cup.
The U.S. holds a 4-3 advantage since facing the world. Prior to 2018, the competition featured the U.S. versus Europe or Great Britain and Ireland, where only men competed.
These golfers in Congaree Golf Club are in the spotlight. This par 72 layout designed by Tom Fazio is spectacular, featuring firm, fast conditions. Let's hear what the golfers had to say about Congaree.
You feel it once you drive through the gates.
And seeing the big white houses and the hanging trees, it's so cool.
I've never seen so much sand in my life.
It's a great match play course.
The greens are fast and firm as ever, and the fairways are super pure.
There's a lot of different shots and different holes. There's a lot of runoffs, which allows you to be creative on the short game.
And this place is awesome. Definitely really fun to have the remote setting it does. It just feels very scenic and peaceful.
Being able to play out here is obviously a privilege, and it's one heck of a task.
The Arnold and Winnie Palmer Foundation encourages honesty, integrity, and sportsmanship through its work with young people around the world. The Arnold Palmer Cup is part of that mission.
The Palmer Cup is a perfect reflection of Arnold Palmer. There's camaraderie, there's competition, and there's a warm glow that hovers over the event.
You're seeing tomorrow's stars today. The ability to see that and realize that they are the future of the game and that the history of the game needs to be important to them.
I hope that that's their takeaway, that they realize that they too can make an impact by doing something more than just playing a great game.
The Arnold Palmer Cup is an opportunity for young women and men to compete at the highest level while fostering camaraderie, championing good character, and celebrating the Palmer legacy of giving back.
And the fact that he was able to take his incredible skill and his charisma on the golf course and turn that into something that could benefit so many other people.
The character and the development of who these young people become is so important, and the opportunities that they're going to have through their careers to give back and make a positive impact on those around them and make a positive impact on the game of golf. Arnold Palmer was the epitome of that, and if these players can be inspired to do the same, that's what it's all about.
Day one highlights coming your way right after this, as the Arnold Palmer Cup is proudly supported by Rolex, the official timepiece of the Arnold Palmer Cup, and Nike, the official footwear, apparel, and headwear provider for the Arnold Palmer Cup.
Playing with the ladies is pretty cool. They hit it a lot straighter than us. I mean, they're never offline, so I gotta hit a good tee ball for sure.
Mixed foursomes must be the hardest format of golf there is out there, because we do play golf very differently.
It feels like a new game. We get to see different parts of the golf course, hitting alternate shots as well. It's just something that we don't do that often.
Just to get to see how the women and the men kind of conduct themselves and how they play. And it's super fun to get to learn from these guys and to get to see how they compete.
We don't really get to do that in any other event, and it's always really cool getting to see how the guys play the game.
It's awesome to play with and against the guys, and to be amongst them and competing alongside them is a lot of fun.
Mixed four-ball begins the Arnold Palmer Cup, proudly supported by Rolex, and this mixed format makes the competition unique. Match one featured a pair of Florida State Seminoles in Lottie Wood and Tyler Weaver against a couple of Auburn Tigers in Anna Davis and Carson Baca. The English duo of Wood and Weaver, they never trailed in the match, and with everything on the line, the #1 ranked amateur in the world, Lottie Wood makes birdie to win for the international team. And Amelia, that's how you want to get things going.
Oh, it sure is. Hard-pressed to beat the world #1 amateur Lottie Wood. And from the top woman in the field to the top man in Auburn's Jackson Coyven, who paired with Oregon's Kiara Romero, another match that came down to the 18th hole and ended in a tie. Both teams held a 1-up lead, the largest lead of the match.
So a response there by the American team as we take a look at players here this week ranked in the top 10 of the official World Amateur Golf ranking. And you can see many of the best women in the field here this week in South Carolina. How about Ethan Fang, who helped Oklahoma State win a national title, partnering up with Farrah O'Keefe, and the Americans never trailed in their match against the duo from South Africa. An impressive 3-2 showing for Fang and O'Keefe in that one.
And then Preston Stout and Kelly Sue, the USA built the biggest lead of 3 up through 4. The internationals, though, tied it with a birdie on 14. Ultimately, the match finished tied.
Lauren Kim, Charlie Forster against Lauren Wynn and Wells Williams. This is for birdie to win the 16th. It was a close match where the international team would take the lead on the 13th. They never looked back. Wells Williams needing this one to extend it, unable to get it to go. So a 2-1 victory for Forster and Kim. Another point on the board for the international team. This week, there's a total of 10 members of NCAA championship teams in the field at the Arnold Palmer Cup, speaking to the depth and talent in South Carolina. And for Wake Forest, Carolina Chikara, day one was a dream matchup with fellow countryman Pablo Ureño.
I've been getting to play with Carolina, which is a girl that I grew up playing with. We're both from Madrid, Spain. We both worked really, really hard since we were young. The fact that we're both out here playing with the best in the world is just awesome.
Yeah, it was actually really nice. We were both just kind of enjoying it. I mean, we both played some good golf. We had a really good chemistry, and we both knew we needed birdies to win holes, so it was just fun and enjoyable.
Just getting to speak Spanish and be comfortable in the course has been just great.
Those aren't the only Spaniards in the field. The third Spaniard from Madrid, Andrea Revuelta, and partner Connor Graham never trailed in their match. This was a long one to win the match. Ultimately, the internationals would win 4-3, earning another point for the international team.
And there are so many connections when you look at the schools, the countries, like the teammates at Arkansas, Maria Jose Marin and Kendall Todd. They faced each other going off against one another today. The Americans, though, in this one, they never trailed in the match. Jacob Modletsky closing things out on 16. It was a 3-2 victory for Team USA.
Nordic pair of Luis Rydquist and Michael Miaseth battled Jasmine Koo and Josiah Gilbert of Team USA. USA started strong. This is a long birdie attempt from Gilbert at the 7th. He would make that for USA to go 1-up in the match. Jasmine Koo hitting her third shot at the 9th par 4. She would make that for a chip and birdie. And Luis Rydquist birdie at the 16th to win the hole. They are 1 down in the match. How about the emotion there? A little point at the cup and to her teammates. Gilbert and Koo, Miaseth and Rydquist, they tie this match.
Koo's USC teammate Catherine Park with Jack Turner going up against Maya Ortengren and Arnie Svensson. That was Turner for birdie at the 7th to win it. Then at 16, a par putt by Park to close things out. Ultimately, a 3-2 victory for the American team in that match.
Mary Kelly Mulcahy won her 5th straight Palmer Cup match. The Americans never trailed in this match. This is at the 16th for birdie for Mulcahy, and USA would win 3-2.
Plenty of drama on day one. 5 of the 12 matches came down to the final hole. 3 of them finished in a tie. How about Mirabelle Ting and Justin Hastings on the very last hole going up against Megagane and Michael Lasasso. Ultimately, the international, a 2-up winner there. 12 of the 60 matches in the books with the international team taking a 1-point lead at the end of day number 1.
You have so many individuals that are coming together and are united by one nation and one cause. It means a lot to compete for your country and to get to do it at a high level.
USA!
Anytime you can represent your country is a huge deal, and I take a lot of pride in it.
It's an honor to be a part of the Arnold Palmer Cup. You represent your country, your school, yourself, everything and beyond.
But this is different. We get to play for everyone. We all come together and all want to win.
It's also huge to represent Arnold Palmer. It's pretty special.
The greatest honor we have as golfers is playing for our country. I've had the honor to play in the Arnold Palmer Cup 5 times, and the competition and camaraderie are memories I'll never forget.
Day 2 began with foursomes, proudly supported by Rolex.
Jack Turner, I'm from Orlando, Florida. I play for the University of Florida, and I'm representing Team USA. Getting the captain's pick is really special, and it's an honor, especially being a member of Bay Hill. You know, I want to come here and represent them and my country, so be able to represent them is really special.
Here is Jack Turner and his partner right here, Wells Williams, for birdie at 15 to go 1 up in the match. This one started on the back 9, so an early advantage for the Americans going up against Daniel Bennett and Luke Poulter. Then on the 9th, their last hole of this one, what a shot here with the 1-up lead. Second to the par 4, that would lead to a concession. The Americans with the 1-up victory. What a performance by Turner and Williams getting the job done.
Spanish duo of Carolina Chacarra and Andrea Revuelta quickly took control of this match. Chip from Chacarra on the way at the 3rd. Her second shot, that would be an up and down birdie. Ultimately, Chacarra and Revuelta, a 6-5 win for the Internationals.
How about a couple Oklahoma State Cowboys? Ethan Fang, Preston Stout going off the backside. That was Stout with the birdie at 15. The Americans with the 2-up lead. Tyler Weaver, Connor Graham, their opponents, work to do. Weaver needing this at the 8th for birdie to extend the match. Doesn't go. The Americans ultimately a 3-1 winner in that one. How about a couple of USC teammates? Catherine Park and Jasmine Koo. They never trailed in their match going up against Lottie Wode and Mirabelle Ting. What a great dynamic, Amelia. College teammates now representing your country.
It's such a fun dynamic. You have such great camaraderie as teammates for your school. Now you get to do it for your country. Good attempt there and make from Catherine Park.
A 3-2 win for the Americans. Park and Koo getting a point on the board. How about a couple of Swedes? Maya Ortengren, Elise Fredriksson going up against Kelly Sue and Mega Gane. The Swedes, they never trailed in their match. This is the 2nd for birdie. Ultimately, the international team, a 1-up win, taking down 2 of the very best for the Stanford Cardinal. Carla Bernat, Lauren Kim going up against Anna Davis, Kiara Romero. Carla Bernat made a big name for herself, Amelia, at the Augusta National Women's Amateur, playing well again in South Carolina.
Bernat sure did. This is Lauren Kim for birdie to win the hole. That's to go 3 up. You see the fist bump there. Romero and Davis par to extend the match. That was a brutal lip out, just not enough. Ultimately, the Internationals 4-3 victory. The ties to Augusta National Golf Club are strong at the Arnold Palmer Cup. From Mr. Palmer's 4 Masters titles where Arnie's Army was formed, and in 2019, the start of the Augusta National Women's Amateur, where 3 competitors this week earned the coveted title. Arnold Palmer's legacy is undeniable and at the forefront this week.
I look up to Arnold Palmer as a role model. I would like to be like him and try to help as many people as I can.
Did a lot for the game, so it's cool to see that play out and try to live up to that.
What we've been doing as a team is just go out there, have fun, just cheer every other teammate on, and I think that's what Mr. Palmer would have wanted us to do.
He's done and continues to do so much for the game, and not just within the game, but outside of the game as well.
He never pretended like he was bigger than anyone else, and he had so much success, and it didn't faze him or make it change who he was.
He was all about camaraderie and people having a good time and respecting the values of golf and growing the game. A great honor to be able to represent that.
Another Nordic pairing of Michael Miaseth and Arnie Svensson going up against a couple of Auburn teammates, Carson Baca and Jackson Koiven. And the Americans, they made a strong statement out of the gates, Amelia, but in the end, the international team took command.
It just shows that momentum can swing to any team. Miaseth would make that, leading to an international team victory.
And the rest of the international team playing well. Charlie Forster and Justin Hastings going up against Jay Summey and Max Herendeen. And you're starting to feel the momentum throughout the entire session here, Amelia.
You can feel it around the golf course when your team is doing well. People are cheering across the fairway. It's a really fun environment.
And that is Forster filling it up to close things out. A 4-3 victory for the international team there. How about Philip Yakubchik and Ross Laird against Josiah Gilbert and Michael Lasasso? Again, another match, Amelia, where the international team never trailed.
Well, the putting has just been a strength for the international team. Par to win the match. That sinks in, leading to a 2-1 victory for the internationals.
Gabriel Palacios and Pablo Arreño, a quick start for the international team, building an advantage, but the Americans, they kept fighting. Adam Duncan and Jacob Modleski 4 down as they played the 9th. This was Modleski getting down into conceded par. They'd win the hole, and they would fight back on the back 9. This match ultimately ended up tied. The internationals kept on rolling, led by Kaylin McNabb and Maria Jose Marin. Another dominating performance, a 4-2 victory, and another point on the board for the internationals. Fresh off the end of the college season, both NCAA individual national champions are in the field. Maria Jose Marin from Arkansas and Michael Lasasso of Ole Miss, just part of the great college connection in South Carolina.
This morning was very special. Playing with my teammate Ella Galitsky from University of South Carolina and having Kaylin Anderson coaching on the American team and walking with us down the 9th hole. And
it was actually a little bit awkward because you're rooting for them, but rooting for the U.S. team. It's fun watching their success. I mean, you're always relishing in their success and wanting the best for them.
So an impressive day and session for the international team. They began with a 1-point advantage. They won big in the morning session. The overall lead now for the internationals, a 6-point advantage over Team USA.
The support through the Palmer Foundation is critical. Our goal through the Congaree Global Golf Initiative is to really give our students the resources that they may not otherwise have. Make sure that education is their priority and that they're going to graduate on time with a degree.
It started when I was nominated by my regional England coach to take part in the camp in Archerfield with Congaree. We spent some time in the classroom doing some schoolwork and then went out on the course. And that's when it really ticked for me that college golf might be my thing.
I had played in the 2022 Parent Insurance Championship where I had learned about Congaree. The next year, they re-reviewed my application and I ended up getting in, and it's one of the best experiences I've had as a golfer.
Golf makes you take responsibility. You play bad when you play good, it's all on you, whether that's on a golf course, in life, and I think just know you can bounce back from the bad times is key.
It opened my eyes to a lot more things as far as golf and life.
They're both completely deserving, come from wonderful families. They really put their all into the program.
Back to the action as day 2 concluded with mixed foursomes. The international duo of Carolina Chicaro, Pablo Arreño, back together again, Amelia, and doing what they do best.
Yeah, when you have a winning pair early on in the week, you certainly don't change it. Chicaro and Arreño, such a great vibe. And you know you're trying to make it when you take the flag out. This from Arreño, a deserving fist bump, and ultimately the internationals winning 2-1.
The internationals also keeping together the team of Lottie Wood and Tyler Weaver going up against Farrah O'Keefe and Ethan Fang. When you have the top-ranked amateur in the world, you keep them together as long as you possibly can, Amelia.
Lottie Wood plays with so much poise as Ethan Fang trying to make this one. He certainly does. What an awesome back-and-forth match that ended up in a tie.
The internationals, they continue to move forward. Mirabelle Ting and Justin Hastings against Kiara Romero and Jackson Coyvin. And this was for the international team to extend the lead that they built early in this one.
World number 2, ranked amateur Mirabelle Ting. Just such an all-around game. Of course she makes a long one with the internationals winning one up.
Maria Jose Marin and Arnie Svensson against Kendall Todd and Adam Duncan. Maria and Arnie, they never trailed from the get-go. They never looked back. Ultimately, a 3-1 victory in that one. The next match saw Ella Galitsky and Luke Poulter for the international team go up against Lauren Wynn and Max Herendeen. And Amelia, this was one of those that went back and forth. Hard to see who might be the favorite coming down the stretch.
Well, in these back and forth matches, it's hard to gain momentum because you can't gain a lead. Having a partner, though, is so helpful to be able to keep that momentum somewhat as Galitsky's approach shot. What a great effort there.
That would help them win the 16th. The international team one down, playing the last, and what a great touch by Luke Poulter from off the green.
Well, that was needed to get the match back to tied.
But Lauren Wynn still with an opportunity, a par putt at 18 to win the match outright, unable to get it to go. That match, as you said, ultimately tied, a half point for each team. Macy Pate, Carson Baca against Lauren Kim and Charlie Forster. Macy Pate, a Wake Forest standout. I know you like that, Amelia.
Oh, I sure do, Burko. This was Pate's first Arnold Palmer Cup, and she was rolling the putter so well. Always a great iron player, but when that putter's working, she's unstoppable, as is Carson Baca.
Yeah, those two worked very nicely alongside one another. Ultimately, a 4-3 victory for the Americans in that one, and it was already a special week for the Arnold and Winnie Palmer Foundation Women's Golf Scholarship recipient.
Being able to be the recipient and be here and kind of try to embody Arnold Palmer as much as I can. Our head covers say #Arnie would. So Arnie would go the extra mile and Arnie would kind of do everything that could be done. Arnold Palmer's example just goes beyond golf, and that just shows that we're not just golfers and we can do so much with our lives outside of golf. And on the golf course, just being able to have this umbrella on our shirts this week is just another reminder of everything that Arnold Palmer stands for.
Back to the action, Mega Gane, Jacob Modletsky for the Americans against Kaylin McNabb, Ross Laird for the internationals, and boy did the Americans make a statement in this one.
Well, when you have a 4-up lead, now 6 up through 13, just 2 putts to win the match for Gane. Never really lost momentum in that one. USA would win 6 and 5, earning another point for Team USA.
Next up, Catherine Park, Jack Turner against Andrea Revuelta and Connor Graham, and the U.S. took the lead with a birdie on their second hole, and another match for the red, white, and blue, making an early statement and not looking back.
Catherine Park, such a great ball striker. That's the drivable par 4 third. When you hit shots like that, it's hard to lose with Catherine Park and Jack Turner, a 3-2 victory for the Americans.
The momentum now starting to swing to the side of that American team. Jasmine Koo and Josiah Gilbert against Carla Bernat and Philip Yakubchik. Another match, Amelia, we're starting to say it again. The Americans up early and continuing to take it all the way to the end.
And you can start to feel it on the golf course. You still have to make sure you push all the way, given how match play can turn at any point. Great shot there from Josiah Gilbert. Jasmine Koo, 1 up in the match, and now birdie to win the hole. She's an aggressive putter, and it is rewarding with USA a victory with 1 up.
This is Jay Summey alongside Mary Kelly Mulcahy against Maya Ortengren and Gabrielle Palacios. Another match where the Americans took the lead, never trailed, a 2-1 victory for the red, white, and blue. How about Kelly Sue and Michael Asasso against Elise Fredrickson and Daniel Bennett? The internationals held a 1-up lead before 12 holes before the Americans ultimately rallied to tie the match. Time for the internationals to make a statement. They're hoping Luis Ridquist and Michael Miasa can do it, and with shots like this by Ridquist, certainly helping the cause.
Well, this tee shot never left the flagstick at the drivable par 4 third. That will be an eagle attempt. And that would get the internationals to 2 up. Ultimately, the Americans battling back. This is the tee shot at the 7th for Isabella McCauley. Really nice approach shot there. It's so important to have a good narrative when you're trying to persevere being down early in match play. Wells Williams for par to tie the match. These putts are nervy, not for Williams, and ultimately this match ends in a tie, half point for USA and the Internationals.
The International began the afternoon with a 6-point advantage. The Americans win session 3 to close the gap from 6 points to 4 and enter the singles down 4 points.
I had long thought that an international competition such as this would enrich the lives of young golfers through the universal bond of the great game of golf. The words of Mr. Palmer most certainly ring true with this year's competitors.
The Palmer Cup is truly one of my favorite events that I've been a part of. Just grateful to be a part of it and to carry on Palmer's legacy for sure.
I had the chance to turn pro before this week and not play, so I just couldn't do it.
The best amateur players in the world, both on the women and the men's side at the same time.
It's been fun this week just to get to see how my game matches up.
He was all about camaraderie and people having a good time and respecting the values of golf, and I think that's a great honor to be able to represent that.
Whenever you're playing team golf, it's always really special, and particularly this event, all the history behind it, it's just really cool to get to play for the team.
The Arnold Palmer Cup was established in 1997 as a Ryder Cup style event for the best collegiate players from the United States and Great Britain and Ireland. From that first event at Mr. Palmer's Bay Hill Club in Orlando, it succeeded in its mission to promote character development and values alongside top international competition.
He always had such a passion for what the amateur sport meant as to competition, but doing it for the love of the game and the passion that he felt for a sport that he not only loved playing, but realized that he could make a difference.
After the 2002 event, the field grew to incorporate all of Europe, and in 2018, the Palmer Cup expanded once again to include the best collegiate players in the game from around the globe, an ever-growing impressive alumni list that continues to win on the biggest stage.
It's pretty amazing to see how many of the Arnold Palmer Cup players have achieved success in the professional game. My father would be so proud of how well these kids have represented what it means to be a great golfer, but also what it means to be a great person.
The Arnold Palmer Cup may be the best kept secret in golf, honestly. There's no purse. There's no strings attached. They're playing against each other and they are competing for the love of the game and for the love of competition. That's what it's about.
And after the Arnold Palmer Cup, the success has continued both on and off the golf course. 17 different alumni have won at least one professional major. 95 have won 435 tournaments. 46 represented on Ryder Cup, Solheim Cup, and President's Cup teams. There's little doubt we will see more Arnold Palmer Cup alumni on this list in the near future.
With 24 singles matches remaining, the Arnold Palmer Cup is on the line with the international team holding a 4-point lead in this, the 28th playing. The Americans are seeking to become the first team to win 3 straight at the Arnold Palmer Cup, proudly supported by Rolex. Singles underway. Anna Davis for the Americans, Kaylin McNabb for the international team, and this is a battle of some SEC flavor, Amelia.
Oh, it sure is. Davis and McNabb, both previous Arnold Palmer Cup participants with a ton of match play experience. Davis taking control of this one. 2 putts to win the match, or just trying to have good speed. And Anna Davis, 4-3 victory and a point for the USA.
And the Internationals lead is now cut to 3. How about Jay Summey against Daniel Bennett? Oklahoma and Texas, these two colleges know each other very well. Summey took a 1-up lead after the second hole, and he never lost that advantage. A big-time statement by Jay Summey, a 5-4 win. The Americans now within 2. Could the Americans keep up this early statement they are making? Jacob Modletsky going up against Connor Graham, and momentum. We've talked about it before. We'll say it again, Amelia. It is big time, especially in team competition.
Well, that was a birdie at the 11th for Moldeski. He was one down. That was huge. Now Connor Graham, a chip-in eagle to go one up in this match. That back and forth battle, it's so hard to gain momentum. Ultimately, Moldeski on the 16th, able to judge this firm green beautifully, nearly makes it and wins the match 3-2.
3 straight wins for the Americans. They trail the internationals by 1. A couple of freshmen squaring off. Andrea Revuelta against Jasmine Koo, and Revuelta made a big-time statement in her freshman year at Stanford and making a big statement here as well.
To have those 2 freshmen face off was incredible, with Revuelta ultimately that 4-2 victory.
Lottie Woad and Farrah O'Keefe. Time for the internationals to respond a little bit, Amelia, and if you're going to do so, why not lean on the top-ranked amateur in the world?
Well, Lottie Woad, she knows how to step up in these big moments and plays with such poise. Nothing seems to faze her when she's expected to win a match. Usually, Lottie Woad delivers.
She took her first lead after the 11th hole, ultimately prevailed, a 2-1 victory for Woad in the internationals. The international team now with a 3-point lead over the Americans. Catherine Park for the USA against Elise Fredrickson from the international team. Catherine Park led for all but 1 hole, but never had more than a 2-up lead. Catherine Park stepping up big time all week long. A perfect 4-0 in South Carolina and a 1-up victory right there. Amelia, Elise Fredrickson came up short, but she provided the shot of the week.
This was truly incredible. 1 down in her match, needed to do something. Why don't you just drain it?
What a shot, what a memory for Elise. How about Michael Lasasso against Ross Laird? Lasasso won the NCAA individual championship, so another guy coming into this one with a lot of momentum.
And a lot of confidence. Birdie to win the hole for Lasasso. We saw in the NCAA championships, when he gets momentum, it's hard to take it away.
Ultimately, a 6-5 victory for Lasasso. The Americans now within 1 point of the international team. Michael Miaseth against Jack Turner. Michael Miaseth won the very first hole. He never lost that advantage. Jack Turner gave him everything he could handle, but in the end, Miaseth a 4-2 win. And in the big picture, the international team now with a 2-point lead. How about a couple of sophomores from college? Tyler Weaver from Florida State, Jackson Koiven from Auburn, and a back and forth match that saw a little bit of everything, Amelia.
It sure did. Great short game there from Tyler Weaver. And then long birdie putt on the way at the 17th to win the hole. These are the putts that really gain your momentum. You see the emotion there from Weaver. They want it so bad for their country.
And the miss at 18 by Koiven, unable to tie the match to a big-time statement. Weaver winning 1-up, the internationals with a 3-point lead. Preston Stout going up against Charlie Forster. Preston Stout, the Oklahoma State standout, jumped out of the gates early, and he just wouldn't let his opponent get back in it.
Well, especially for Team USA being down going in the singles, they had to make a statement, which Stout did. Forster trying to battle back to extend, not able to get it done. So Preston Stout will earn a point for USA, a 3-2 victory.
And the internationals with a 2-point lead as more singles coverage coming your way right after this. We're back in South Carolina. Final day of the Arnold Palmer Cup continues. The international team with the 2-point lead as we get back out to the action. The standout from South Carolina, Ella Galitsky, going up against Mary Kelly Mulcahy, and Galitsky making a big-time statement, Amelia, as she has done virtually every time we watch her play.
Might just be a freshman at the University of South Carolina, but Galitsky playing like a tour player, just an all-around game and taking control of this match.
Ultimately, a 4-3 victory for Galitsky. The international team lead back up to 3 points. Next up, Kendall Todd against Maya Ortengren, another senior versus a freshman. And again, Amelia, another freshman showing up big time for her team.
Now the Stanford Cardinal had momentum and never lost it. That's for Birdie to win the hole. ended up being an 8-6 victory for the Internationals. What a statement from Ordengren as a freshman.
Carolina Chikara, Mega Gane, these two know each other quite well. They've won national champions, and they are two of the very best in college golf. And Amelia, you know Carolina as well as anyone.
I sure do. Chikara, a former teammate of mine, one of the best iron players in the game, also a fiery match play player. I really believe that's where she starts to shine, especially on the greens.
That was for birdie at 18 to close out Gane. It didn't go, so Mega had a chance for birdie to tie the match. Two really good efforts by both those players. Chikara, a little bit of work to do. That goes in, a one-up victory for her and the international team that see their lead now extended to 5 points. How about Adam Duncan against Luke Poulter? Back and forth on the opening 9, but on the second 9, that is where Luke Poulter took control.
And the second 9 is where the magic happens when you're trying to close out a match. Great short game displayed there from Luke Poulter.
Duncan needed this to extend it. It wouldn't go. Poulter would win by a 4-3 margin. The team lead for the international squad is now up to 6. They're 2.5 points away from capturing the Arnold Palmer Cup. Kelly Sue from Stanford, Luis Rydquist, the South Carolina standout and the Gamecock All-American, Amelia, getting the job done in the Palmetto State.
This was a really tight match until the 16th and 17th hole where Rydquist was able to make birdies. Making the putts is how you're going to have to win matches in match play, which Rydquist was able to do. A 2-1 victory, and the Internationals getting closer to that team win.
Lauren Wynn against Maria Jose Marin. Marin, the standout from Arkansas, the NCAA individual champ, kept it going for the international team.
It was also a close match. Marin, known for making these long putts, her speed is exceptional. That would get her to a 2-up in the match. And then another long birdie at the 14th to win the hole. When you're the NCAA individual champion, you're making putts like that, you're pretty unstoppable.
Ultimately, a 3-2 victory for Maria Jose Marin, the 6th straight match that the international team would win, now a half point away from claiming the 2025 Palmer Cup. Could the Americans mount some type of a charge? Max Herendeen against Pablo Arreño, and Pablo, who played so well earlier in the week, continued to do it in singles.
It's so fun when you have this team camaraderie. You're playing for something bigger than just yourself. That's something that Arreño loves to do, and just making a statement here to win the Arnold Palmer Cup.
He hung around in amateur golf for moments like this. Pablo Arreño getting the job done. A 4-3 victory and clinching the Arnold Palmer Cup for the international team. One of the great things about the Arnold Palmer Cup, they play matches to completion. As Macy Pate squared off against Mirabelle Ting, and Mirabelle, one of the very best in college and amateur golf, made a big-time statement here this week, Amelia.
Yeah, ultimately a 4-3 victory in singles. Turning pro after the Arnold Palmer Cup, Mirabelle Ting, a player with a ton of match play experience and exceptional playing ability.
Kiara Romero against Lauren Kim. A couple of college sophomores squaring off in this one, and Lauren Kim continuing this big-time charge for the international team.
Now, this was a really impressive statement from Lauren Kim going up against Oregon standout Kiara Romero. Kim just kept the pedal down with shots like this, ultimately winning a 2-1 victory for the Internationals.
Ethan Fang for the Americans, Justin Hastings from the international team. Justin has had a great senior season at San Diego State, and he continued his great play in South Carolina.
It's just so exciting when you can cap off the college season with the Arnold Palmer Cup. This was a really close match, back and forth between Justin Hastings and Ethan Fang. Justin Hastings just needing 2 putts, might as well get it in one, and he wins 2-up at 18.
A perfect 4-0 on the week was Hastings. How about Carson Baca against Arnie Svensson? Another battle of SEC flavor, and the Americans at this point, they're just trying to win a match.
And you still have to persevere. Just because your team has already lost, you're still trying to play good golf for yourself, and the teammates are out there rooting everyone on.
Baca was up to the challenge. In the end, it was a 2-1 victory for him, ending the streak of 10 straight wins for the international squad. Carson's college teammate Josiah Gilbert going up against Philip, Jakubczyk, and Amelia. Jakubczyk, like many of his teammates, feeling it on the greens today.
Just so impressive to be able to make putts of this length. These putts are all about momentum. You dial in your speed, and then you can feed off of your teammates around you, where the internationals have already won the Arnold Palmer Cup. This for birdie for Jakubczyk to win the hole. Ended up winning a 3-2 victory for the internationals.
Yeah, and for good measure, Jakubczyk rolling in another long one here at the 5th, extending the lead for the international team overall to 12 points. What a big-time statement by the international team and Jakubczyk. Isabella McCauley against Carla Bernat, and McCauley trying to get things going. You know, you still have that pride for your team and your country to give it everything you possibly can do.
You always do. In my 5 Arnold Palmer Cups, 2 of those we did not win. You finish all your matches out for your team, for the Arnold Palmer Cup itself, and everything it stands for.
The end result in this one, McCauley, a 1-up victory over the winner of the Augusta National Women's Amateur. And then you've got Wells Williams and Gabriel Palacios. Wells Williams back and forth. He had the lead the entire match, but it wasn't easy. Had to earn this one.
Yeah, you always have to earn it when it's back and forth the whole way and no one's able to build a lead. That was a huge putt for Williams at the 15th.
And here to close things out, 2 putts to win the match at the last. Ultimately, a 1-up victory for Wells Williams. But the big-time story, the international team, a 10-point victory as they capture the 2025 Arnold Palmer Cup. The Arnold Palmer Cup is proudly supported by Rolex, the official timepiece of the Arnold Palmer Cup, and Nike, the official footwear, apparel, and headwear provider for the Arnold Palmer Cup.
Congratulations to the international team on their win, and congratulations to Maria Jose Marin and Daniel Bennett. The 2 were voted by their peers as the best to represent the Arnold Palmer legacy. Marin earned an exemption into the Amundi Evian Championship, and Daniel to next year's Arnold Palmer Invitational.
It was definitely a surprise. I was not expecting it at all. Playing a major means a lot to me. I'm just grateful that they voted for me and they put their trust in me to represent everyone.
Very appreciative of them and the support they have for me. Couldn't be more thankful. First PGA Tour event, to receive this it's just overwhelming.
Time to take a look at some of the standout performers at this year's Arnold Palmer Cup. Hats off to Carlina Chikara, Justin Hastings, and Catherine Park. All a perfect 4-0 on the week. A week of so many great performances, but to be involved in something like this, Amelia, it will last a lifetime.
It is so special to be a part of the Arnold Palmer Cup. The friendships you make truly last a lifetime.
And they do for the coaches as well.
I mean, it's an honor to even be coaching in an Arnold Palmer Cup, and it's these competitors, these student athletes that go out and compete for us really did a great job.
I mean, we knew that we would have a real battle on our hands today. My messaging to them, truthfully, was to be themselves, that they didn't need to change their DNA or come out and try and get fired up. Believing in themselves and trusting that their good golf would be good enough to get us over the line.
And it was good enough for the international team to get the job done, as we'd like to thank our additional sponsors that help make this year's event possible. We also want to thank the Congaree Foundation and Congaree Golf Club. What an exciting week it was in South Carolina. And next year, excited for the Arnold Palmer Cup to head to Ireland. Amelia, what a week, what a moment for these young men and women at Congaree.
It truly was. The internationals stepping up this week, but all players performed at the highest level. So fun to watch and cannot wait for next year in Ireland.
For Amelia Durant and the entire team, Steve Burkowski saying so long.